Welcome everyone on TikTok. Hopefully TikTok is going to work today. Welcome everyone on Instagram. Let me know if you can hear me and see me all right. And it looks like we are live on Facebook and YouTube as well. Perfect. Okay, TikTok is moving. Looks like Instagram is moving. Looks like everything is moving. All right, perfect. So we're going to make a couple quick announcements while we let everyone tune in. Tonight is my Get a Grip on Your Money, Career, Investments show. $5 gets you the short answer. $10 gets you the long answer. So you're going to go ahead and start submitting that payment and your question now. Jill, my beautiful producer, will be taking your questions from wherever they come in. And if you are on TikTok or Instagram, she's going to have to continuously repost how you can submit that. There's no description box on those two platforms. So if you want instructions, just look in the comment section for her. If you want the easy route, just go on to YouTube at Ask Ivy. You can do everything under one umbrella. We do have, all right, hello, Alicia. Looks good. Looks like we've got some people tuning in here. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and make some quick announcements while we let everybody get on here and get their questions in. I know we have the Pyrofi, I want to call it, Love Night Ukrainian community event, supporting people from Ukraine in the city of Buffalo, Western New York area. This is going to be this upcoming Saturday, February 15th from 6:30 to 10:30 p.m. I'll be offering readings, 10-minute readings for $25. Okay, so that is a steal. You can pre-book or you could try your hand at a walk-in that night. So that's going to be at the Ukrainian American Civic Center on Military Road in Buffalo. This is up on my website. Okay, so if you want more information or if you want to pre-book a reading with me, we also have coming up Spirits with Spirits Ivy League Psychic Fairs at Margin Manor Winery. So we have 4 dates already established for 2025, and booking is starting to fill up fast. So if you were hoping to get out to Margin Manor Winery, do a wine tasting, get a reading, check out the grounds. It's an amazing space. And we're doing Sundays 1 to 4 again this year, same time. So we've got March 30th, April 27th, September 21st, October 26th. All right, again, featuring readers from the Ivy League Psychic Academy. So my certified readers and myself, I will also be there offering readings. Yeah, you can pre-book on my website, or you can try your hand at a walk-in for those. We also have coming up the Psychic Mediumship course is now scheduled for later 2025. If you missed the start date on this current course, you can get in August 12th. We start. And if you don't want to wait, you can still jump in with the current group. The alternative is to do evergreen, which means we're running all the time. The Psychic Mediumship course never stops going. Okay, so yeah, see what fits you best. And if you have any questions, let me know. But you should be able, if you go to psychicmediumshipcourse.com, IvyLeaguePsychicAcademy.com, or for any of the other things I was mentioning, Rivera Psychic Medium.com, you could see all of this information there as well. If you guys want to book a private reading with me for your finances, you can go onto my website and do that. I have the time zones set up so that I can hit a little bit of everywhere internationally. But if it doesn't work for you, you can also just get a video reading. All right, so feel free to book that anytime on the website. We also have just one last quick announcement. We have tarot course starting over again. So the current tarot course, if you missed getting in on it, you can still get the video downloads. You just can't join live. Okay, so that's your alternative. It is evergreen now as well, but If you wanted to join live, the Spirit of Tarot is starting up again. Registration is now open September 10th. All right, super exciting. I do want to say thank you to my YouTube members for your ongoing support. I adore you guys. And for you guys tuning in wherever you are, if you want to switch over to YouTube at Ask Ivy and become a member, you can hit the join button to see the 3 different tiers of options, including everything from like a monthly mini class to weekly spirit messages to an exclusive Ask Ivy show to your monthly horoscopes, all kinds of things going on there all the time. So thank you, YouTube members. Language Through Connection, Angie Johnson, Jennifer Cole, Denise Bennett, Samantha Winger, Jan Phillips, Yolanda Fisher, Lucy, Heather G, Bonnie S, D Alt, CJG, Maraid, Masubi, Mary, Audra, Robin Hartling, Chicken Mama, Tristan Marion, Edgar Velardes, Vanessa, MeLove716, Andrea M, and Jill Marie. You guys are awesome. All right, so welcome everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwalk, and this is my Get a Grip on Your Money, Career, and Investments show. This is the final Get a Grip show from the series. I had a great time doing it. I ran the series all through 2024, and it included Get a Grip on your money, career, and investments. Get a grip on your love life and relationships. Get a grip on your dreams, dream analysis. Get a grip on your intuitive intelligence. But I feel like it's time for a change. Like I try to change these up every year. So in 2025, I'm going to be doing 2 shows. That's my traditional Ask Ivy show where all of those questions would fit. Okay, so from dream analysis to questions about your love life, to questions about your money, whatever it is, you can ask those types of questions at the Ask Ivy show. That's my oldest show. I've been doing it now for like 15 years. And then we are also doing the Unbound Sage. The Unbound Sage is relatively new. That's where you drop a $10 donation and I deliver out whatever messages they're waiting for you. Okay, so that's been a huge hit. So we'll be rotating bi-weekly like I always do, Wednesday evenings. And anything else you want to book with any of those topics from the Get a Grip series, those are also available up on the website, IvyRiveraPsychicMedium.com. You could see book a love reading, you know, book a dream analysis, book a money reading, whatever it is. So you can get it there. Book your intuitive ability assessment. Right. So this is it for the series. I'm a little sad to see it go, but you know, definitely been a good time. All right, let's get into your questions. Anything, money, work, career, investments, goes. Who do we want to start with? All right, our first question is CJG. This is a $10 question. What is coming up for me with money and finances this year? Money and finances for CJG in 2025. It seems a little up and down the first quarter of the year. And so you may expect a bit of an increase and then what may feel like a drop or a bit of a plateau. I wouldn't take it too seriously. It does feel like it's directly connected to work-related stuff. This may also be coming from more of a demand on your resources. For example, the first quarter of the year, you may end up paying out more. You know, whether it's having to make repairs or it's having to pay off a bill, you know, those types of ideas. So that can cause a little bit of that dip. I think that going into the last 3 quarters of the year, what you're really looking at is more of an opportunity to do some expansion, not necessarily within the space where you work, although I do see a promotion. So that could be like a title promotion with a raise, with a pay increase. But most of the expansion I'm talking about is outside of your work. So if you want opportunities to create a side hustle, do investments, you want to expand upon any type of a hobby, or, you know, even if you're doing something like light work, you're doing readings, you're offering healings, you have some type of artistic ability, I think this is a great time for you to start getting that out. So there's also a lot of talk here of your expertise. So within your field, there's a lot that you know. Now, this looks to me almost like consultant work or like independent contracting type work. You may want to expand out in those areas as well. So there will be money making opportunities, but you know, Spirit shows you almost like knocking on the door. Like you have to knock on the door of opportunity and take advantage of those things. I think that if you're not actively pursuing some of these, you may feel as though the remainder of the year is plateauing a bit, even though we do have that increase in your workspace where you currently are. I think that it's also a year for you to pay more attention to residency and how much money is going into residency. Ouch. That's my leg. Hello, mama. Come on. You want to come say hi? You want to come up? Meaning, you know, maybe renegotiating a contract or looking at an upgrade to the current residency, any type of real estate, land ownership, any shifting you would want to do with that. I think it's really important you're looking at the residency and you're saying, okay, how much is going in and how worth it is this? How is this as an investment as a whole? So we could also see some fluctuations going on there that are sort of spurring this conversation along in your head. And that could look like a bit of an increase in, you know, payment or the bill, a little bit of a change there and an adjustment. All in all, I feel like this year has a lot of opportunities for you, but it doesn't come without hard work. It's really not a lot of stuff just falling into your lap and smooth sailing, okay? But definitely room for growth. Thank you so much, CJG. We're going to move on to another one. This is from Edgar. This is a $10 question. Yeah. Edgar wants to know, what positive career changes will I experience when I get my clinical state license, LCSW? Hoping to be done with the requirements in 2026. Okay, what positive career changes will I experience? Well, the first thing I'm hearing is don't bite off more than you can chew. And so I think you're going to have quite a lot of options. One being that you could leave the state. And now I don't know if that makes any sense with what you're talking about here, but it feels like if you wanted to expand out, if you wanted to relocate, if you wanted to leave that area, you would be able to do that. Now, it may also be more of a reflection on like, leave the current place where you are, you know, leave the system that you've been sort of maybe stuck in. Well, I don't feel like it's bad. I also feel like you're ready for some expansion. You're ready for some freedom and you're ready for a significant level up. You're starting to feel like you outgrew the sandbox for sure, you know, and you may start to feel like you're not able to play as nice with the other kids in the sandbox as you were maybe the first year or so. So that's fine. But you know, when we start to feel like we've outgrown a space, we definitely want to keep our eye on the prize and move as quickly as we can toward an alternative. Now, when Spirit says to you, don't bite off more than you can chew, what they may be talking about, Esmeralda Marie Rivera. Yes, say hello to everybody. She's bored. We live in New York and she can't go out and play. So, you know, when Spirit's talking about don't bite off more than you can chew, it can mean that you all of a sudden are kind of finding yourself going after a whole bunch of different options, not having a very direct plan on what you want. And as opportunities start to come back to you, maybe people are saying, yeah, we have received your resume. We are interested in bringing you on board. You know, you do run the risk of choosing wrong, let's say. So I think this is something you need to, you know, pay closer attention to. Be specific and start thinking now about what the next step is. But yeah, there will be several different opportunities once you get that. I think the biggest one though, and again, whether that's literal or symbolic, take it how it resonates, the idea of you being able to leave the state suggests that you expanding into, you know, more like territory that can offer you positions like what you're looking for and have plenty of options, okay, without anyone giving you a side eye as to whether or not you belong there, should you be there. So that's going to be a definite benefit for you. I also think that the pay increase, which may be the most important thing for you in some ways, especially if you're looking at like purchase of real estate, you know, upgrades to the residency, some investments in alignment with that. This may be the the most important part for you. And it feels like a significant increase, so possibly even like, 30,000. This is an opportunity for you to get into a financial bracket where you're able to stay for several years and build the type of life that you want to have. Okay, without having to be like, how do I hustle? How do I get up to the next level? What's the next move? You could hover there for a while and do really well, and just take some deep breaths. It's like a marathon run for you. You're at the end of like an 8 or 10 year investment here. So it looks really good. Keep up the speed on that. All right. Thank you, Edgar, for your question. I'm going to move on to another one. Right, Mama? Who do we have? Alicia Killian. Alicia, this is a $10 question. Alicia wants to know, what's 2025 have in store for my salon and business growth? Okay. And if you guys are going to put something, question like this in the comment section, please do include the name, or at the very least the initials of whatever your business or businesses are that you're asking about. So Alicia, 2025, what's in store for your salon and business growth? You could have a lot of people coming in, like it could end up being actually very busy the first 2 quarters of 2025, but you may feel short-staffed, or you may feel like there's not enough reliable people showing up on a regular basis. So it could end up being a situation where maybe some people are getting sick, or some people have personal problems. They don't really manage work very well when they have personal problems. Whatever it is, you could find yourself looking at the overall business and saying, there are some gaps and holes I would really like to be able to fill in more easily. Should we hit a bump in the road? Should someone become unavailable, or what have you? So yeah, transitions, I would say, with whether it's, employees who work there, that type of an idea. Now, the fact that business is good is great. Of course, we want to be there to cater to that business. We want to have reliable, affordable services to actually deliver, and offer in times like that. So you're gonna have to look at that, what that means. What else do you want, so that going forward, you never have to think about these things. We always want a full schedule. We always want the maximum amount of bookings, and we always want to make sure we have enough workers on hand to make that a comfortable, luxurious experience, right, for everybody. So that includes you. And so you may make some changes. This is up to your free will. I can't give a 100% guarantee that you're going to choose to do this. But you may make some changes in regards to how many opportunities you're offering to other people. And when you open that up to the public, you may also get a rush from that. Like you may get a rush in the same way you do with customers. You may have a rush of people who want to come like work with you, or work for you, or partner with you in some way. Maybe even like younger people, or students, or interns, or things like that, so it could be an interesting dynamic. I think that you're learning how to juggle things better in 2025, so that especially in 2026, you can focus more on expansion. I want to say, don't put the cart before the horse is what I'm hearing. And don't also put all your eggs in one basket. So if there was some expansion you wanted to do in 2025, you may find that it's better to get things in order before you're putting all your eggs in one basket and heavily focusing and investing financially and time-wise, okay, on those types of things. Take it slow. You call the shots. But yes, I see growth potential for sure. Looks good. Thank you, Alicia. We're going to move on to another one. Okay, this is from Jill. So Jill Marie, a $10 question. So Jill wants to know, what does my financial landscape look like in 2025? Thank you. Okay. So it feels like at the end of the second quarter, your ears are ringing. Okay. Now, as intuitives, we know that when our ears are ringing, we're kind of perking up to information or a download, or we're being alerted to some big opportunity or a potential pitfall. It depends. But you're paying more attention to what's about to come and to what could be made of that, let's call it an opportunity. I think that the last 2 quarters of the year, this is where we really start to see it move. Now, the interesting thing about this is it has everything to do with your employer, your main employer. So if we were to say that there are too many hands in the pot for me to give a 100% guarantee, that would be true. You may also be feeling some of this, but be like, I'm not sure where this is all going. That's why. So when something is falling in a free will zone, we don't know with 100% guarantee what everyone involved is going to choose to do. I would say as of today, the highest likelihood is that there could be some shifting of hands. There could be some turnover of power. There could be some elimination of like a group or a section of projects that you work with, or something being sort of removed or wiped out, transitioned somewhere else where you can't go. And so whoever is handling all of this, and there may be some new players involved in management and ownership, whoever is handling all of this seems to be kind of popping out of the box brand new. It reminds me a little bit of like, not my circus, not my monkeys. Like you may be looking at it and being like, you know what? I'm going to let them figure that out. So here's a golden rule for you in 2025. Don't take on more than what is yours. Don't take on more than what you're getting paid for, and don't volunteer yourself by not understanding how to set a boundary and say, no, this is not my work, So there could be a lot of that, a little chaos. I think that ultimately it benefits you if you take the bull by the horns and you say, pay me, pay me, pay me, and I can handle this. Pay me, pay me, pay me. And I'm in a good position to, start in this other, section of, the company, this other domain. I can even train people, enough about it. So you could move in a few different directions, and you may choose to do that. The alternative would be to sort of ride it out and to stay still where you are. And then in that case, things may look pretty much the same with a slight increase. And that may be more in pay raise and a little bit in title. Hopefully that made some sense. There are going to be other options, is what I'm saying, compared to just where you are now. So it depends really on whether or not you want to go after it. Definitely some change. For you, though, primarily that's where the change would be coming in your finances, though. Okay. And anything also you were looking at getting rid of, any kind of like baggage, burden, debt, anything you consider old that you want removed, you're going to be able to do that in the 3rd quarter. All right, thank you, Jill. Good things. Good luck with all of that. We are going to move on to another question from Luda. This is a $10. And Luda wants to know, I feel like I'm being taken advantage of in my business. It's called the Furies Visa. What can I do to protect myself until I can grow into my own place? Okay. I would say that there's a lot of thinking here and a lot of talk of this is the best we can do for you. This is the most we can offer you. And if you start adopting that way of thinking, like, well, this is the most I can get paid, then we're going to have some problems there. Okay. Because the reality is somebody's making the money. The money is going somewhere, and it's not just even for you about the money. It's also about a lack of like flexibility or scheduling issues. So I think what you really need to do, instead of asking, when will this get fixed? When will this improve? Or like you're asking even of me right now, how can I protect myself until I can like leave? It's sort of like, how can you demand more now and where you are? First thing you're going to have to do is come up with a serious list of what it is that you want to see improvements on. Because in your head and in your energy field, it's kind of like a jumbled ball of emotions. It's kind of like a big ball of yarn. You know what I mean? And if you were to make a blanket out of that yarn, or a scarf out of that yarn, a hat out of that yarn, you need to untangle all this at some point. You don't want to get so far and then find out there's a big old knot and you can't go any further. You want to untangle this mess now. So make a list very clearly. What do you need to change in your schedule? What needs to change with pay? What needs to change with the demand level or the things that are being demanded of you? You know, and what is it about this idea that there isn't enough for you to get more of what you need? Who said that? Why did they say that? Right? And that identification that it isn't true is where we start after you make that list. Okay, so start pursuing what you need. I think that's actually going to be required before you can move more into your own place, so to speak. It's a bit of a test. I like to think of tests as opportunities more than, you know, challenges or like the universe is judging you in some way. So definitely start there. Looks like there's a lot of room for growth here. And then you're kind of off doing your own thing right around the bend. All right, thank you, Luda. We are going to move on to another one. This is also from Edgar. Edgar, $10 question. Edgar wants to know, what messages does Spirit have for me regarding my current job as a therapist? Any messages for Edgar as a therapist currently? Not a lot. I feel like you've kind of heard it all. I think you've seen it all. I think you know the direction. There's a sense of, the only thing I'm really feeling here is like, it's a sense of completion. You know, so what that can mean is that you've already reviewed all this. You know, if you keep knocking at the same doors over and over and saying like, tell me something. Do you have a message? Do you have a message? Sometimes there are no more messages. That's all there is. That's all she wrote. And what you're doing now is you're taking what you already heard into deep consideration and you're doing something with it. You're making the changes that you were supposed to make. You're making any moves and expansion that you need to focus on, and you're eliminating any habits that need to be, you know, I want to say eliminated. And in this case, in the current location that you're working in, primarily what could end up happening is that, you know, you're finding going forward, you really want to do more of that elimination in regards to the amount of time spent. So maybe you don't want to be as available, or you're trying to scale back on your hours or change your scheduling, something like this, to feel as though, you know, you can have more energy toward other things that are more important to you. And I'm not saying your job isn't important to you, but it's like you're getting depleted potentially in 2025. And with the adjustments that we can make there, you know, you can't pour from an empty cup, so to speak. I think that looking also at your career right now as being something that you're elevating up and out of is important, instead of thinking of it as like your forever place. You know, if your mentality has been, I am here, I don't know how long I'll be here, maybe I'll be here forever. You know, it's very easy to start seeing your workspace and the people in it as a prison, you know, and stop really fully appreciating what's there. So the attitude of gratitude can plummet real quick when that happens. So try to think of it as a place, and that these people are just a speck in time. This is a very short episode of your life, and you want to appreciate it to the fullest, okay, every day that you're there, instead of looking at it as either an entrapment system, you know, or something you really wish you could be somewhere else you want to move on from. All right. So that is, I guess, in its own way, a little bit of elimination also, okay, of programmed thinking. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel like everything else you've pretty much heard. Yes, yes. And there is room for advancement there. Can I get a pen, ma'am? Thank you so much. All right, thank you. We're going to move on to another one. Thank you, Edgar. Any more questions coming in here? Again, if you guys don't want to do this publicly, if you are, if you like have a question for me, but you're like, well, I don't want to like online, you know, you could book privately a financial reader, reading of any kind on my website, Rivera.com. And do we have any more questions coming in here? I see one from Joey. I don't know if this is actually coming through. Okay, so I'm just going to like respond to that. Then if anything else comes through, Jill will go ahead and take it. So this is interesting. As far as numerology is concerned, so Joey Cicatello, Joey says, I thought 456, the angel number related to growth. I assumed career growth is what I meant. Okay. So yeah, Mairead, go ahead. Submit your questions, submit your payment. I'm just sort of derailing here with this because I think this is something a lot of people need to hear. And I was actually just teaching on this last night. So I'll get back to all your questions. Keep submitting your payments and questions. So last night at the Psychic Mediumship course, I taught Coffee with Your Angels. Okay, so all the students got to meet each one of their angels. Everyone's appointed a guardian angel and a protector angel before they come to Earth. That class is now available for download. Okay, if you missed it, anyone can get it from the website. But one of the questions we had there from one of the students was, I see a lot of numbers. Should I be Googling angel numbers? Don't Google angel numbers. Okay, don't do it. There was a woman named Doreen Virtue who created the whole angel number system. And then she went crazy and thought that the demons were actually in the angels. And, you know, it was ridiculous. I don't know what happened. She had a mental breakdown. She tried to remove everything angel number from like Google and from all the books she published. And it ended up being this huge fiasco. Bottom line is it was always junk. Okay. Anything she talked about was just based on real numerology anyways. So we don't want to be looking to things like angel numbers or Googling people's random opinions on numbers. Numerology in itself is, in my opinion, an ancient language. It's probably something you've carried on from lifetime to lifetime. And if you are a numerology person, Joey, I'm talking to you, but I'm talking to everybody right now. If you are a numerology person and numbers are speaking to you more than they are other people, meaning numbers are showing up, different numbers at different times in your life, giving you direction, giving you validation, okay, showing you when you're going the wrong way, whatever it is, you would notice earlier on in life things like birth dates and death dates pairing up, your lucky number, okay, and new people you meet that are significant in your life, all their numbers pairing up with your lucky numbers, okay? And you're, again, you know, especially within the family, the birth dates and the death dates, like maybe your birthday is the same day your grandmother died or something like that. So yeah, pay attention to all of that, but don't go to angel numbers, okay? It's not a real thing. Numerology is a real thing. And when we, now I have a numerology course up on the website you could check out, or you could just, you know, Google. Mine's a little bit different than probably what you're going to find in Google. It's definitely more in depth, but if you were to Google actual numerology, you may get some good insight there too. Not sure. However, these numbers 4, 5, and 6, that transition there is beautiful. I just want to touch on that real quick before we move on to somebody else here. The number 4 is signifying that you are making major change in one area of your life. And this is Spirit's way, the universe's way, your higher mind's way of validating for you that that's the right move. 5 indicates change in all areas. So this one change may be sparking a bunch of other changes. Okay, and 6 is starting to look like a bit of a new cycle for you. So it's, numbers read like a storyline, like a timeline. Very interesting. Great question. Not sure how that popped up in here or why you thought it was connected to money. I mean, it could be if it is. You know what I mean? Just because you have change in one area of your life doesn't mean it's change in money. And if angel numbers told you that, that's another reason to debunk them. You know what I mean? It could be change in anything. Anything. It could be your health. It could be anything. All right, we're going to move on. So Mairead has a $10 question. It's raining in my house. Can you guys hear this? There's like rain coming in through one of the old fireplaces. I give up. I really do. Mairead, $10 question. Hi, Ivy. I've been thinking about starting a podcast for tarot or spiritual guidance. What should I be focusing on to start that up? Okay, if this is the right direction, I should be heading in. Okay, so what should I be focusing on to start it up? How to start it up? Let's do it that way. Okay, how to start it off. Well, the first thing you're going to need is like an outline, I would say. This is good for you because otherwise you may hem and haw, and procrastinate. So like an outline of 10 different topics you want to discuss. The other thing I'm seeing is that you should be ready to zig and zag, meaning you may be starting this possibly, and it doesn't really end up in that direction. It detours you over to something else that is also discussion on spiritual development, but it seems more like you're interviewing people, or you're talking about different aspects of like society. You're talking about restructuring, almost like deprogramming and reprogramming the way people have had religious bias or constriction, and how they can get back in touch with true spirituality, how to sort of shake all of that off and get rid of those types of blocks. So this could be, for example, maybe you start by doing like tarot teachings or talking about tarot in general, but then you end up helping people remove their blocks so they can get more in touch with tarot. A lot of people in general, all walks of life, all types of different situations, have blocked energy because of their previous programming, and they just can't really fully get in touch with either the spirit world or their own intuition because of that. And without block removal, we don't go anywhere. We can be the most ambitious, creative, talented person in the world, and it doesn't mean jack if you can't remove all of those obstacles and create some space for fluidity and growth, right? So don't be surprised if it detours. Now, you don't want to start on that note, because then people will be like, work? I have to work? I'm not doing this. I'm not showing up. I'm not tuning in for this. So you want it to start fun, and then you want to start force feeding them, right? The meat and vegetables, the medicine. And then they won't even know they're being force fed, right? Like, you can't start things off raw like that. But I think that coming up with this outline, back to the original message here, of 10 to 12 things, maybe even 15, is a good idea. Now, the other thing with that is it shouldn't be restrictive. It should be a jumping off point that allows you to pay attention to feedback and like the comment section, and your algorithm, like what videos are doing well, where there's engagement. What do people want? Now, people are going to want a lot out of you. People are going to ask for a million things. Don't make that your main focus either. It shouldn't be, I am strictly sticking to this list of 10 things, and it shouldn't be whatever the people want, give them what they want, because half the time they don't even show up for what they said they wanted. They don't actually want it, right? They're just talking. So you want to take all of that into consideration at different times, probably by the second or the third show, and start redesigning your outline of 10 a little bit differently. Okay. Yeah, this looks like this could be very interesting. I think it may also really bring you a significant amount of, if you're looking to do this as a way to like build your client base. Yeah, for sure. Okay, thank you so much, Maraid. Very exciting. I may have to tune in for some of that, because I have trouble 78 cards. 78 cards that's intimidating when you're really trying to remember. I think some people are just called to tarot and they just pick up the cards and it's like, I already know what it means. I think other people pick up the cards and it's like whatever meaning they have for that card is not the traditional meaning, and that may also work for them. But when I tried to learn it, I tried to learn it by like, this is what it means. And I was super overwhelmed, and I was eventually like, meh. I love receiving tarot reads. I'm obsessed with the decks and having something to look at while someone talks to me about my life and gives me guidance. I think it's an amazing experience. So yeah, I would even be interested in listening to what you have to say on all that. All right, are we at time, or do we have anyone else? Again, if you guys want to book a reading, a healing, a psychic fair, or a party with me, you are going to Rivera Thank you so much for supporting this series. I had a ton of fun with the Get a Grip series. Again, if you watch my shows regularly and you're like, oh no, I really like that one, it can be rolled right into the Ask Ivy show. So any of the questions you could have asked through the Get a Grip series, you can ask at Ask Ivy, and I am also keeping the Unbound Sage. So we'll be switching out every 2 weeks between the two. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks, Jill. Thank you, Spirit. Have a great night, everybody.